finally on this coaching program thing, you said you teared up after the first coaching call. What was that about?
I mean, what it really goes back to, Geoffrey, is just like doing like things like therapy and still feeling stuck. Again, I'm not trying to bash therapists, but I really felt stuck with my anxiety. Like, because I talked to several people about it, and I'm doing it for years. Like, this wasn't just like 3 sessions. This was years, and things had gotten so convoluted in my mind because I had psychoanalyzed it so much. And I had this coaching call with you, and you simplified what I was feeling. Like, you're like, hey, actually, like, some of this anxiety that you're feeling is actually a good thing, because sometimes anxiety is actually a good thing because it can be used to motivate you to follow the right processes. Sometimes this is actually a good thing. And like, I just kind of sat with that after our coaching call. And I was like, I had moments where I started feeling anxiety, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm feeling some anxiety right now. And like, that process was really what stopped the Chinese finger trap analogy. Like, actually flipping the script to the point where I'm starting to call it a good thing, because then I can't resist it anymore if it's a good thing. If I'm getting excited about it, if I'm throwing a party about it every single time I'm getting anxious, I'm not resisting it anymore.
Yeah.
And that stopped.
And what Nick was talking about is really the essence of untethering.
Yeah.
Right? We say essence of untethering is get your addiction away from outcomes and into processes. So what we're saying is, when you say, I want an outcome, you're automatically saying, I don't have that outcome. Right? You consciously say, I want an outcome. You subconsciously automatically say, I don't have that. And that creates a chasm. That chasm is anxiety. Yep. If the anxiety is channeled towards an outcome, you have no control over the outcome. So the anxiety has nowhere to go. You feel bad. You feel paralyzed. You feel stuck. But if you untether and you learn to channel that desire towards a process, you say, I want to do the process. When you say that, you're also saying, I'm not doing it. I'm not getting it done. That creates a chasm. That creates anxiety. But this anxiety is towards the process. But whether you do the process or not can be channeled, can be done. It's in your control. So that anxiety now has somewhere to go. And that anxiety becomes motivation, right? So a lot of people these days, they see anxiety like a taboo word. Like, you got to get rid of that. You got to get rid of that. Anxiety is bad. But anxiety it's not good or bad. It's just, where are you channeling it to? Are you channeling in the right place or wrong place? If you channel in the wrong place, it'll be bad. If you channel in the right place, it'll be good. That's kind of what that's the part you're saying.
Exactly. Like, what happened is in following your processes for months, and it took me months to get to this place, the untetheredness you mentioned, like maybe I'd paraphrase my partner and the paraphrase was crap. And I wasn't having anxiety about my partner's reaction to my paraphrase. I was having anxiety about the process not going well. And that was a very different experience for me, because like, I took the anxiety and channeled it so much into the process that now, like, the emotions and the ups and downs I was having was about the process instead of the outcome.
Yeah.
And that was like that's a truly remarkable thing to feel. That's really hard to describe.
Yeah.
But it's such a shift, and it was so important, because that's like what has like rocketed me through all this stuff, is just being so connected to the process and not caring what the outcome is. Well, not caring at all, but like just not having it like pull me down, like, I want the outcome, but like, I guess don't need it. Right. And I'm just so connected to the process and just wanting to grow myself and finding joy in that. But that's what propelled me forward. And that was just a huge shift for me.
Good.
Yeah.
The reason why we have untethering so early on in the program is that at some point you need to get to the point where you actually enjoy the work, right? Like, the reason why people yo-yo diet, for example, is that they never enjoy the work of dieting and exercising. The reason why people cannot like create results that last a long time is because they don't enjoy the work. So they will do the work, but eventually their willpower runs out, and they stop and they yo-yo the results. So, being in this program is not like that. Like, I wouldn't say it's like a slog throughout. I think what happens is in the beginning, you're going to find it tough and you're going to have to use a lot of willpower to choose the right hard. But ultimately, when you get to the part where you're untethered, which is almost in the beginning of the program, I want you to untether and actually learn to love the process in itself. So this doesn't feel like a slog anymore. And so I want you to get to like Nick's position where he can do this for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years, for 4 years, for 5 years. It doesn't really matter because he enjoys it. It's like, why take a vacation from your fucking vacation? You know?
That's a really great analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like at the start, it's like, okay, I got to do these processes today. All right. And then it turns to, fuck yeah, I get to do these processes today.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
When the right thing doesn't become work anymore. But the shame is when people quit before they even get there.
Yeah.
Like you haven't even gone to the part where this can become enjoyable and you quit. It's like, dude, that's really hard to do. Like, how do you quit in the introduction? Like, that's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also crucial. Like your enjoyment, your untetheredness is also crucial for your partner to believe your changes too. Because like, think about this, right? If you get someone, for example, who says they changed, but then you can tell they hate every single moment of it, versus someone else who like they changed, but they love changing. They're like smiling every day. Who would you believe have changed? Of course, the second guy. Because the first guy, you'll think, dude, you hate being here. How much longer can you hate this before you give up? So of course it can never be permanent. So if your partner sees you changing and she can tell that you hate it, you feel it like it's like work. It's like, oh my God, I got to do this every day. She will never believe your changes. Right? Again, it goes back to the saying that we had. If your intention behind joining the program is to save your relationship, guess what? You will forever hate the work and you will never convince your partner that you've changed. Because for your micros, from your everything you do, she can smell that you hate it. She can smell that it's not genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're coming from that tethered spot.
It's hitting home real hard, Geoffrey. It's like, I mean, like some of the books our counselor read or wanted us to read, and some of like stuff, like I'm not going to go into details, but like it was like that. Like I didn't enjoy it, and she could smell that from a mile away. She knew that I was enjoying that, and that influences everything in such a negative way, right? Yeah. When you enjoy the process for the sake of itself, though, and you enjoy the growth, everything changes.
Everything changes.
Yeah.
And so ironically, again, when you let go of the outcome and you do the process because you love it intrinsically, that's when you get the outcomes, because that's when you get everything believable. So if you're asking the question, when can I get my partner back? How long do I have to do this program? By definition, if you ask that question, you'll probably never reconcile. So the answer is never.
Mm-hmm.
But once you stop asking the question, the answer becomes soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's mind-bending.